Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. All right. It's almost ready to go. It's almost time to start. It's 7 a.m. What time is it? 6:58 a.m. from San Salvador. I'm in El Salvador. It's kind of cloudy outside, but I can see the sun is coming through the clouds. It's not really heavy clouds. It's kind of very light clouds, and it's almost 2 p.m. in UK. Right, let's just go straight into Bitcoin and have a look at the charts. I can see that there's at least one person here, so that's good. You say hi if you want. Let me guess, it's chilly. It's probably chilly. Anyway, let's just get rid of this. All right, so on Tuesday, I was looking at two possible ideas on Bitcoin. I was looking at possibly an inverse head and shoulders, and I said that possibly what you really want is a breakout, and then you can take a breakout long. And then I drew this trade plan, and I drew this kind of trend line. And let me just actually go back to the video, because I like to go back to my videos. It kind of gives me a little bit of it reminds me of what I said and what I was saying, but it also will help you to see that I don't make this shit up. I actually do analyze the charts live, and I do know some things about some things. So here, you can see here, I was talking about this. Here you go, let me look. See that? Bam, bam, bam. So I was kind of making this inverse head and shoulders idea. I was thinking maybe if it broke down, then you can have a more of a complicated inverse head and shoulders pattern. And then this is where I was joking. See, trade ideas, breakout long versus drop to react. That's kind of what I was contemplating. Let me kind of put it on the volume on, and you can see what I was talking about. But this could be forming an inverse head and shoulders pattern here. Yeah, I don't know how I would take a trade here, to be honest with you, because of the bearish CVD. I'd probably wait for the bearish CVD to invalidate, possibly from here a breakout long would be the long, to be honest with you. That might be the trade, a breakout long. It's hard taking breakout longs, but effectively that's what I'd be thinking about right now in this position, because the right shoulder has potentially formed, and you wouldn't gamble because you don't know if it can drop down to make a more complicated head and shoulders. But effectively you're looking at a breakout long here with slightly wider invalidation, and then a measured move taking us all the way up to there, kind of something like that. That's kind of what I'm imagining here now for a long. Okay, so that's kind of what I was contemplating, and look at that. So yeah, it kind of, I drew this trend line here, and it came down, didn't drop, came back above that trend line. Potentially you could take that swing failure there. Effectively that's a scalp, but the breakout long is a nice long, isn't it? Because you have a clear invalidation. You don't, with a breakout long, if it breaks out and it drops, then you're invalidated, because you're then looking at a short of a swing failure, which is a failed breakout. Okay, so that was 3 days ago. That was on Tuesday. Okay, so I still think this short is in play, and this is the other thing. So right now we haven't kind of reached our target yet. We almost did, but we haven't reached our target yet. So I'm kind of going to get rid of this analysis now. There is a trend line in play here, but I'm just going to ignore that for a second. And what I'm going to do is, first things first, is going to look at the volume. Yeah, no changes really. So you still have quite a strong resistance here at the point of control. You just got to be aware of that. That's a really strong resistance. That lines up perfectly with the golden pocket. Yeah. And we've had a reaction off the 50 fib. You see that? So that was the first. We found support of the 382. So that's kind of where we are now. We are in an inverse head and shoulders pattern. We have broken out. So I do expect the price to go up to the point of control. I do expect the price to go up there. And so naturally, I still think that this short is a valid short. I still think that. And if I get my other kind of, you have a CME gap, you have some single prints there, you have a naked monthly point of control, you have some daily levels, you have a lot of resistance slightly above where the price is right now. You see that? So there's a little bit of a gap to push up, and then that's really a strong resistance area. It's ridiculously strong. And I'd like to see what happens. Maybe if we get a lot of volume up there, then that'll be good. It'll be a good opportunity to short for a lower high. And so, I mean, I still think that we have a possible short in play here. Same as what I said before. It'd be nice to touch the point of control. You have to wait for the reaction, as always. Once you get the reaction, you can short because you have an invalidation. And you probably target the breakout neckline, probably. That's where I'd think is a natural place for the price to come back to. However it gets up there. The price never moves in straight lines. But let's just say you go up, bam, reject. Then probably down to the neckline for another attempt. Possibly, you know. So this is interesting to see if the price not sure how far it will get, because I don't know if it's going to get front run. It could get front run and just finds resistance a little bit ahead of the point of control, because it's quite a wide resistance area, and it doesn't necessarily have to go all the way to the top. It could just reject at the first resistance. And so that's kind of where I would expect the price to come back to test the breakout neckline for a long, and I think it's pretty straightforward. I don't think I would think of anything else right now. A little reaction, wait for the reaction. If the price is holding the neckline, another long. And what, yeah. And you have to be aware of this, because even if you do go up, you could reject again. And so when you get to the neckline, this is the test. Does the price then go up, or does the price go down? Yeah, it could do both. Yeah, because a big rejection from there is a lower high. If you get a lower high, you can go for you're aiming basically for a lower low. That's how it works. That's the market structure. And so naturally that will be your first opportunity to long, just a back test of this breakout neckline. But if you do get that test, and if it does hold the support, then there's no reason to go up and not go up and attack that level again. And if you do, you could break out, and then you could possibly go up to the top. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with this, without really going into much depth. At the moment, you can't really long because there's no risk to reward, there's no invalidation, and you can't short because it's not the right area. And so you just have to be patient for the price to reach the specified areas. This obviously can be a little bit wider because we're not sure exactly where the price is going to reject from. But ideally, you need a reaction. And then naturally, you want to see the price find support at the breakout neckline. If it doesn't, and we're back into this inverse head and shoulders pattern, then it's going to get ugly. It's going to get really ugly. Then we're going to see a real crash to take out these lows, and then probably the bear market. Probably the bear market. Because you're just putting in lower highs, lower lows from the all-time high failed auction, and it's just going to look really miserable. Okay, so I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't expect it. I still think we're bullish, but anything can happen in crypto. Let me have a look at the order flow quickly to see if I see anything interesting. Well, we're underneath the daily open. We're underneath the VWAP. That generally means that we're bearish today. But we are seeing some bullish CVD across this move to the upside. So as long as we keep on seeing bullish CVD, it means that larger players are absorbing the price, they're absorbing the sell orders, the market's selling. So that kind of keeps us on track with what the bigger players are doing. And if you remember on Tuesday, I did say there was bullish CVD across the range. And so naturally, I was expecting a move to the upside. Okay, so there is bullish CVD here. I can't really see any bearish CVD forming. So there was a big short there. See that? Big short got absorbed. Right. So, I mean, that's a really quick Bitcoin update. I don't really think I need to go much more into Bitcoin. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. What's interesting is that Bitcoin dominance is dropping. Yeah. And on Tuesday, I did talk about alt season. Alt season, honestly, if I feel like alt season is beginning now, even though Bitcoin dominance is rejected from the 6th of July when I started streaming, I talked about a rejection here, and you see how the Bitcoin dominance is dropping. I feel like this is just dropping. So it is possible to see a real drop here. And I really feel that alt season is beginning. Generally speaking, alt season begins with ETH moving. And you see that ETH did move. ETH moved. Where is ETH now? ETH BTC. And we're starting to see Solana move as well. And so this is really interesting because Solana follows ETH in a typical alt season. And so ETH moved. Now Solana's moving. I think BNB was moving as well. Let's have a look at BNB. Yeah, BNB is at all-time highs. Look at that. Binance coin is at all-time highs. So that kind of gives you the indication that everything is looking healthy for alt season. Once BNB kind of tops out, it will all go into the Binance ecosystem. And then you get these tokens like Cake, Pancake Swap, and other tokens on the Binance chain start to move. And it's the same with ETH. Once ETH moves and stops, then you start to see the ETH ecosystem move. Ideally, for a token like ETH, what you need price discovery for the rest of the ETH ecosystem to start really moving. So ideally, what you need is a parabolic move on ETH to make this happen. Okay, but there are some other tokens which are pumping. Look at mantle. Look at that. Bam, all-time highs. So, you know, mantle is up 179% from the July lows. And what else is there here that I can look at? Sui is still kind of trying to figure out what it wants to do, but it'll probably move eventually. ENA obviously pumped as well from the July lows. Athena like 200%. So we're getting some really nice moves. You have to be aware that a lot of these tokens are forming bearish harmonics on the higher time frame. So it's hard to know if they're going to go parabolic or not. They may just be higher time frame range bound. And that's what I kind of see here. For example, you see that is potentially a bearish harmonic there. You see that, and you have the same thing with some other tokens. Like here, this is actually a bearish harmonic, isn't it? You can see it. A big higher time frame bearish harmonic is forming, and so I'm not sure we're going to get the parabolic move yet. It's possible that you form a bearish harmonic, you get a final dip, bam, 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 and then you get some kind of parabola, okay, on a lot of tokens. And so that really, what we really require is ETH to start going pumping into price discovery. That really is the key. ETH is not in price discovery now. ETH has just had a mini rejection from the all-time high, and that is probably the reason why a lot of altcoins are still not going parabolic in some certain ways, in uncertain terms. All right, so I would say that's that's Bitcoin. That's kind of a little alt season update. There is actually something I wanted to show you. I'm going to show you now. Let me just find it on my other screen and I can show you. Let me find it. Looking for it now. Alt season index. This is really important. If you don't have this link saved in your bookmarks, then I'm just going to paste it now in chat. So let me see, it should pop up on the screen now. There it is. Oh, fuck. Well, it didn't pop up completely, but effectively, that's the link. It's blockchaincenter.net/en/altcoin-season-index/. So you can go there and you see, look, 78, it's alt season, altcoin season. There you go, altcoin season. We've just entered alt season. Look at that. Last time we were there was, when was it? Kind of November 24. And we had a rejection. There's a mini alt season there. But really what we're looking for is the big one. This was the big one, wasn't it? And that lasted how many months? 1, 2, like 3 months for that. So what we want is this to last. We don't want another quick rejection. We need this to last longer. That's how we're going to get the kind of the parabolic moves. If we can kind of, if this just can linger here rather than a quick rejection. All right. So this is a real keen indicator of alt season. You should be buying altcoins now. Buy. Not financial advice. And you can be starting with the ones that haven't moved. That would be good. All right. And I'd say a lot of them haven't moved. The ones in all-time highs have moved. So I'd avoid the ones at all-time highs, even though people are like really bullish and they think it's going to go into price discovery. I'd focus on the ones that haven't moved yet. That is not financial advice. Okay, so Solana is moving, so you might want to focus on the Solana ecosystem. That might be something to look at. All right. All right, so that is that. I'm going to move on to the next token that I wanted to look at, and that